Hello again, my name is Ulf Larsson, and this is the third part of our series on indicators and situation analysis for the program ICT and Pedagogical Development. And this time we are looking at organizational level indicators. The organizational level objective of the program reads: the overall objective of the program is to contribute to capacity building and the startup of change processes in the participants' organizations in order to integrate ICT in educational policies and strategies at all levels of the education system. So this is the guiding objective for the type of indicators we are looking at organizational level. So let's look at how we were thinking for organizational level indicators. First of all, when you fill in this form, indicate whether it is one form for the country with several organizations in the same form, or whether it is one form per organization. You may choose whichever of the alternative, but if you choose to have one form for the whole country, then it's important for us that you indicate clearly which organization a certain indicator or project is valid for. Because projects is what we are looking for at organizational level. Projects within ICT in education, within policy, capacity building and infrastructure. And we have 10 different indicators that we have formulated at organizational level. And we want you to assess the number and status of projects within your organization in ICT and education. The aim is to summarize the present status of those projects, and also we want you to indicate particularly if there are change projects within the program ICT and Pedagogical Development that you want to assess or that you include in your assessment, so that we see clearly which of the projects are related to the ICT and Pedagogical Development program from people who have been from your organization in the program beforehand. As you can see up here, these are the 3 types of information that we are asking you to fill in. The name of a project. We ask if there are projects with a wider scope or ranges across several of the indicators, then we still want you to write the same name in different indicators where the same project comes back. But in the second part, project focus, that's where we ask you to add a different focus, because for one indicator it may be a particular focus that you are having on that particular project, and another focus in another when you answer for another indicator. And then in the status field we ask you to define whether the project is planned, started or completed. If there are ICT for education projects that doesn't fit within these categories that we have given, we are still very interested to hear of them. So please use the comment field at the back of the form to fill in new or projects within other areas than the ones that we have formulated as indicators in this particular form. If you do not have a project under a certain indicator, that's perfectly okay. Then just write not applicable or data is not available for that particular indicator. We understand that you may not have ICT for education projects for all of the 10 indicators. So please only fill in data for those for projects for those indicators which are current for your organization. So let's start. The first area is policy, and here we are asking for 4 different indicators. The first one relates to projects where you are discussing the formulation of ICT policies. If there are projects that your organization is involved within the formulation of policies, this is where you fill that out. The second part, or the second indicator, relates to projects where you are implementing ICT policies. So here again you put those projects, the status of those projects, and the focus of those projects that relate to the implementation of ICT policies. Thirdly, if there are projects relating to evaluation of the policy, then you fill them out for this indicator. So evaluating ICT policies, if there are projects for that. And fourthly, if you have projects related to equity of access issues for remote schools, minorities, girls, or children with special needs, please fill that out in the fourth indicator. So those are the 4 indicators, and as I said, for the status you use if they are planned, if they have started and are ongoing, or if they are completed. The second area relates to capacity building, and here we have 3 different indicators. That's indicator number 5, 6 and 7. Indicator number 5 relates to projects where the organization participates that addresses the development of ICT skills for teachers for teaching and learning. So capacity building of teachers, those projects you use indicator number 5 to fill in projects where your organization is involved. For the 6th indicator relates to projects related to ICT support for schools or educational institutions. Please use the 6th indicator to identify where, for example, help desk functions or other ICT support functions, where projects related to that is done within your organization. And then the 3rd one within capacity building relates to ICT use for administration, administrative staff that uses ICT. If you have projects for that, then you use the 7th indicator to define those projects and indicate the status of those projects. Then thirdly, there is also 2 indicators related to infrastructure. The first one relates to the development of ICT for teaching and learning. That means if you have projects that relates to infrastructure development of ICT in schools, please indicate that in indicator number 8. And then the 9th is related to digital content for students or pupils in their native tongue, in their native language. If you have projects related to development of content in native languages. And then finally, the 10th indicator is related to funding, where we ask you, related to your organization, what is the current total budget of ICT in education as a percentage of the total budget of the organization. So the 9 first indicators are related to status of projects within ICT in education, and the 10th is related to the percentage of your organizational budget that relates to ICT in education. In the comments field, please indicate or identify the indicator that you would like to state more information about as number 1 to 10 of the indicators. And it may be discussing indicators that are lacking in the coverage of different types of indicators we have formulated. Please put that information in the comments field if there are projects that doesn't quite fit within those 9 indicators that we have already formulated. We are very interested to hear of other projects. Also, if you have websites with information about the projects which you are discussing in your which you have in your organization related to ICT in education, please put the websites in the comments field as well.